This is The Gist, the essential podcast for the discerning listener.
Welcome to The Gist. I'm John.
And I'm Mary. It's Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. We are your smart friends on the go.
We look at the world through one simple lens. We follow the money and figure out who actually benefits.
Let's start with the gist view. Artificial intelligence is hitting a very real wall, and it is not a software glitch. It is the physical power grid.
Right, a new study by Allianz Trade, a massive global insurance firm, dropped a huge number today. Global data centres pumped out 286 million tonnes of carbon dioxide last year.
That surge is entirely driven by the race to build artificial intelligence infrastructure. Tech giants are rushing to build these facilities. Why? Because whoever corners the market on processing power today gets a monopoly on future profits.
Exactly. It is a gold rush. But policymakers are treating artificial intelligence like it is just code on a screen. They are totally missing the massive physical footprint needed to run it. Governments want to be the global tech leader, but they also signed strict climate pledges. You cannot have both right now.
Think of it like the 1990s dot-com boom. Back then, laying early internet cables caused massive energy spikes. Eventually, hardware got more efficient. Artificial intelligence might help us design better green energy grids later, but the promise of future efficiency does not fix today's massive electricity traffic jam.
Moving to the global overview. The United States dollar is throwing its weight around again, and the rest of the world is feeling the bruise.
The Japanese yen just dropped to a 4-decade low against the United States dollar. This happened right as Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh prepares to speak at Sintra. That is the European Central Bank's big annual policy forum.
When the United States keeps its interest rates high, it acts like a giant vacuum. It pulls investment dollars back to America. That automatically makes foreign currencies worth less. It also crashes poorer nations trying to pay off their debt.
And when those emerging markets face sudden shocks, like the recent crisis in the Strait of Hormuz, this debt squeeze pushes them toward default. So international safety nets have to step in.
That is why United States Democrats are pushing for a $650 billion expansion of the IMF. The International Monetary Fund acts as the world's emergency bank. In short, United States policy sets the financial weather, and the IMF has to buy all the umbrellas.
Speaking of gambling with money, let's look at Kalshi. It is a United States-based exchange where everyday retail investors can place bets on the outcomes of real-world events.
Kalshi just scored a massive advertising deal for the World Cup knockout rounds. They are sharing billboard space with giants like Coca-Cola and Visa.
At the same time, FIFA, global soccer's governing body, is already partnered with ADI Predict Street. That is a firm tied to Abu Dhabi royalty.
The resource flow here is incredibly clear. Speculative trading platforms are attaching themselves to massive global sports monopolies. They want to vacuum up cash from everyday retail investors. The goal is to make betting on global events feel as normal as buying a soda.
Turning to the European perspective, the European Union is playing let's make a deal with Turkey.
European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas is meeting Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan. This is happening just before the big NATO summit in Ankara next week.
She didn't go alone. She brought the European Union commissioners for both enlargement and migration. Those guests tell you exactly what the deal is. The European Union is offering Turkey economic access. In return, they want Turkey to block migrants at the border and cooperate at NATO.
It is pure transaction, but Erdoğan knows his leverage. He routinely uses his power to veto NATO decisions just to score points with his voters back home. The European Union is paying for security, but Turkey remains a total wild card.
Further north, Denmark is changing how it funds Ukraine's defence. They just announced a military aid package worth nearly €590 million.
But here is the important catch. A big chunk of that money is using what they call the Danish model. Instead of buying weapons from Western defence contractors and shipping them east, Denmark is sending the cash directly to Ukraine.
This is a huge shift. It funds Ukraine's own domestic weapon factories. It cuts out the Western middlemen and directly strengthens Kyiv's sovereign industrial base. It keeps the capital inside Ukraine.
Finally, a grim reality check on climate change in France. A severe heat wave is literally breaking physical systems.
Specifically, the mortuaries. Funeral homes are running out of refrigerated space. Zohaya Hateli, an undertaker in Paris, says police are calling him, completely desperate for room.
We talk about climate adaptation like it means building high-tech seawalls, but right now it means cities having to spend emergency cash on basic municipal infrastructure just to handle the death toll. The climate bill is coming due, and it is painfully physical.
Let's check today's temperature. We are seeing a world colliding with its own physical limits. Tech giants are melting the grid to secure future artificial intelligence profits. High United States interest rates are forcing massive global bailouts, and European cities are literally running out of space to put the victims of extreme heat. Across the board, abstract policies are crashing straight into hard physical bottlenecks.
That's the gist for Tuesday. We stay independent and reader-supported so we can cut through the noise and show you how the world really works.
If you found today's breakdown useful, let us be your smart friend every morning. Tap the link in our show notes to subscribe to the Gist's daily newsletter for free. No spam, just the edge you need.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you tomorrow.
The Gist, News Digest, and podcast are entirely written and produced by artificial intelligence. The Gist is out 3 times a day, every day, providing you with a liberal perspective on what to expect next. For more information and donations, visit thegist.online. Thank you for listening.